How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. Signs of an energy vampire. That's the title of this video. Number one, constant need for attention. Energy vampires often require a continual stream of attention and validation. They may frequently seek reassurance and praise, which can drain the emotional resources of those around them. If a person always seems to need to be the center of attention, it could be a sign they are trying to feed off the energy of others. Negativity is also a sign of an energy vampire. A notable trait of energy vampires is their persistent negativity. They might focus on the negative aspects of situations or lives, often spreading pessimism and complaints. This constant barrage of negativity can sap the energy of those who are trying to maintain a positive outlook. Lack of empathy is also a sign of an energy vampire. Energy vampires struggle to understand or care about the emotions and needs of others. They may be more concerned with their own issues and less able to offer support or understanding to those around them, which can be emotionally draining for others. Energy vampires have manipulative behavior. Manipulative tactics are a common tool for energy vampires. They might use guilt, flattery, or deceit to get what they want from others. This manipulation can leave people feeling exhausted and emotionally manipulated. Energy vampires have inconsistent communication. They could be excessively dramatic or overly cryptic, creating a sense of emotional confusion or instability for those who interact with them regularly. Energy vampires are known for constant drama. They create or thrive in a state of drama and crisis. They may have a flair for exaggerating problems or turning minor issues into major catastrophes, which can be emotionally exhausting for those around them. Energy vampires are known for lack of boundaries. Respect for personal boundaries is minimal with energy vampires. They may intrude into others' personal space or overstep limits without regard for the discomfort they may cause, draining energy by disrupting personal comfort zones. Energy vampires have this victim mentality. Maintaining a victim mentality is a common trait. Energy vampires often see themselves as perpetually wronged or unlucky. This constant self-pity can be emotionally taxing for others who are compelled to listen and offer support. Energy vampires often make relationships feel one-sided. They may take more from the relationship than they give, leaving others to feel depleted while constantly meeting the vampire's needs without reciprocation. Energy vampires are known for excessive complaining. An energy vampire might constantly gripe about their circumstances, often without seeking solutions, which can wear down the patience and optimism of those around them. Energy vampires have invasive questions. They may ask highly personal or invasive questions without considering whether it is appropriate, often in an attempt to gather more information to use for their own benefit or to maintain control over this conversation. An energy vampire typically shows a disregard for the feelings and experiences of others. They might focus solely on their own needs and emotions, often ignoring or minimizing the importance of others' feelings. They have this need for constant reassurance. A frequent need for reassurance can be a sign. Energy vampires might repeatedly seek confirmation of their worth or decisions, which can be emotionally draining for those who feel obligated to continually validate them. Energy vampires, they have this tendency to belittle others. Belittling others is a way energy vampires maintain their own sense of superiority. They may put others down to lift themselves up, creating an environment where others feel diminished and drained. Energy vampires have frequent crisis situations. They find themselves in ongoing crisis situations, whether real or exaggerated. These crises are a way to draw attention and sympathy from others, draining emotional energy through their constant need for support. Energy vampires, they have difficulty in celebrating others' successes. They may struggle to celebrate the successes of others. They might downplay or overshadow achievements to maintain focus on their own needs, which can diminish the energy of those who feel acknowledged or feel unacknowledged. Energy vampires, they have a dependency on others for emotional support, decision making, or validation. Energy vampires may rely heavily on others for emotional strength, leading to an imbalance in the relationship. Energy vampires often create or seek out conflict. They may engage in arguments or provoke disputes to maintain a sense of drama or to get a rise out of others, which can be emotionally draining. Avoiding personal responsibility and shifting blame onto others is common. Energy vampires may refuse to take accountability for their actions, leaving others to deal with the fallout and emotional burden. An energy vampire may focus excessively on their own personal problems, often at the expense of addressing or acknowledging the concerns of those around them, leading to an imbalance in emotional exchanges. Frequent shifts in emotional state can be draining. Energy vampires may have unpredictable moods, creating an unstable environment that requires constant adjustment from those around them. Energy vampires, there is a lack of consideration for social norms and expectations in them. Energy vampires might act inappropriately or disrupt social harmony, causing discomfort and stress for others. They may exploit the emotions and goodwill of others for their own gain. By taking advantage of people's kindness, energy vampires can drain their emotional and psychological resources. Energy vampires often show little to no gratitude for the support or efforts of others. They may take acts of kindness for granted, focusing instead on their own needs and complaints. They have this constant need for drama and excitement. Energy vampires might create or seek out chaotic situations to keep themselves entertained or to draw attention. Using emotional blackmail to manipulate others is another sign of energy vampires. They might use threats or emotional pressure to get what they want, creating a draining and toxic dynamic. Holding onto grudges and past grievances can be a characteristic of an energy vampire. They may continuously bring up past conflicts, keeping old wounds open and drawing emotional energy from unresolved issues. Energy vampires complain about problems without taking action to solve them, and this can be very draining. Energy vampires might regularly voice their discontent without making any effort to change their situation. Unpredictable or extreme reactions to minor issues can be a sign. The emotional volatility can create a stressful environment, leaving others constantly on edge. Energy vampires might attempt to isolate those around them from their support networks, making others more dependent on them and thereby draining their emotional resources. Energy vampires may react excessively to criticism. An energy vampire's sensitivity to feedback can result in dramatic responses that require others to constantly tread carefully, which can be emotionally exhausting. Energy vampires have this persistent need to talk about themselves. They have this constant focus on talking about themselves and their issues. Energy vampires may dominate conversations with their own stories and problems, leaving little room for others to express themselves. Energy vampires have a lack of respect for personal time. They may not respect personal time or space. They might intrude on personal time or constantly demand attention, disregarding others' need for privacy and rest. They have a continual need for validation and affirmation, and this can be draining. Energy vampires might seek out praise or approval to boost their own self-esteem, often at the expense of others' emotional well-being. They have this self-centered behavior. Energy vampires typically prioritize their own needs and desires above others, leading to a one-sided dynamic that depletes the emotional resources of those around them. Regularly seeking help for issues that could be resolved independently is another sign for energy vampires. They might frequently turn to others for assistance, creating a sense of dependency that drains emotional energy. Blaming others for their problems is common with energy vampires. They may refuse to take responsibility for their own actions or circumstances, shifting the emotional burden onto others. Energy vampires, they manipulate emotions to achieve personal goals. They might use guilt or emotional appeal to influence others, which can be emotionally draining and manipulative. Energy vampires disregard emotional boundaries, and pressing into areas others prefer to keep private is a common trait with them. Energy vampires may invade personal space and push emotional limits, creating discomfort and exhaustion. Energy vampires have this inability to engage in mutual support. They lack ability or willingness to offer mutual support. Energy vampires often expect support and understanding, but fail to reciprocate, leaving others feeling unappreciated and drained. Energy vampires are known for chronic stress and anxiety. They often live in a state of perpetual stress or anxiety, which can be draining for those around them who feel compelled to offer support. Energy vampires have this need for constant validation. They often seek ongoing reassurance and recognition, which can be exhausting for those who are constantly providing it. Energy vampires have a habit of seeking out or creating drama. They may thrive on chaotic situations, often generating drama to keep themselves engaged and others emotionally invested. Energy vampires have inconsistent reliability and trustworthiness. They might fail to follow through on commitment or promises, causing frustration and emotional strain for those who rely on them. Energy vampires, they have these overly dramatic reactions to minor issues. They might blow small problems out of proportion, creating unnecessary stress and emotional turbulence for those around them. Energy vampires often disregard others' time and schedules. They may constantly interrupt or demand attention without considering how it affects others' plans and commitments, leading to emotional exhaustion. Energy vampires have this constant comparison attitude. They constantly compare themselves to others and seek to be seen as superior. They might belittle others' achievements while inflating their own, draining the emotional energy of those they undermine. They have this inability to share attention or praise. They often insist on being the focal point, refusing to acknowledge the contributions or successes of others, leading to feelings of frustration and depletion. Energy vampires have an excessive focus on their own problems and difficulties without regard for others' issues. They may monopolize conversations and emotional energy, leaving little space for mutual support. Energy vampires have a habitual need for drama and conflict. They might actively seek out or create conflicts and dramatic situations and use them as a means to draw attention and energy from others. Now, if you're wondering who an energy vampire is, you have it there in this video. I've outlined the various signs that someone might be an energy vampire, and each sign focuses on different behaviors and characteristics that contribute to the draining nature of these individuals. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.